welcome to the My First Date podcast. We are here live at the NSA Influence Conference, and we are talking to some amazing speakers that we have been meeting over the last few days, including Miss Davondra Brown.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. We're so excited to talk to you, and tell us a little bit about why you're at NSA, what you're doing while you're here.
Of course. So National Speakers Association has been in my life for about a year or so. But actually before then, my wonderful speaking mentor, Crystal Washington, she made my very first logo like years ago. And she blew the stages away over the last 17 to 20 years. And finally, my life has opened up enough for me to be a speaker full time. And so she was always encouraging me to join NSA, and I finally did last year. And so now I'm here to develop my professional speaking skills as well as to get the business side.
I love that, and I love when we get good advice.
That's right.
Gotta love the good advice.
You definitely gotta love the good people giving good advice in your life.
Yes. When did you first get on stage as a speaker?
Sure. So I have been speaking as a public speaker, and a lot of people don't know the difference, but like a public speaker, right? So I've done public health, I'm in health education, and I've been doing that for well over 20 years. But that's a different type of speaking. That's conference speaking. It's academia. It's very much, you're thankful that they're allowing you to talk about all of your big brain ideas on the stage in front of others,
Sure.
which is very different than being a professional speaker. And so I have been doing purposeful professional speaking for probably about 2 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what made you make that jump into that professional speaker?
Yeah, most definitely. So for me, that is about retirement, right? What does the rest of my life look like? I am turning 50 next year, so I'm super
You are
excited
not. Don't lie to
about
us.
that. Oh my God,
Don't lie to us.
yes, I am. And so I need to figure out, what does it look like for me to not get a paycheck every 2 weeks anymore, but then still do what I love and get paid for doing it. So that's what brought me to professional speaking.
I love that. How was it making that decision and making that transition into the professional speaking? And what advice would you have someone who's kind of on that cusp and thinking about it?
Yeah, I think it's a really easy transition when you become a member of NSA. This organization really does surround you. It envelops you with information and love and family that no one tells you no. No one says, oh, no, I'm going to keep the secret for me. You come to Influence, you go to Thrive, and you get all of the information. You get to meet all of the people that have been doing this for years. I mean, years. Some of the big names, Willie Jolly, Les Brown, Lois Kramer, like those people I now know, like that's crazy to me. So it's a wonderful way for you to kind of get into the business and feel comfortable doing that transition. And there's all these levels. And now my best favorite mentor is the Mimi Brown. And she is the one, we call each other cousins because both of our last name is Brown, but I have to give her a huge shout out because she is the one that literally, she sat down with me and gave me an entire masterclass. Who does that? Who does that? These speakers are charging $10,000 a day for a masterclass, coaching session with them. And that's the kind of relationships and friendships that you make in NSA that makes the transition so much easier to do.
I love that. And I love when people aren't gatekeeping information and their knowledge and their experience.
That's right.
'Cause there's so much that we can learn from each other, and environments like this just really give that opportunity.
Yes.
And I love that you said all these people that you've met, that you idolize, because I met one of my heroes while I've been here.
Ooh.
Do you remember 19 years ago, the video, The Evolution of Dance, where he goes through all of the dances over, like, of the popular songs over, like, he's here.
Shush.
He's here.
What?
I met him at the sponsor night, and they tell me who he is, and I'm like, I think I'm your biggest fan.
I think I know you. Like, I think I've known you. You don't know me.
Know how many times I have tried to learn your dance in my bedroom since I was like 10?
That is awesome. But that's the kind of moments that you have.
You say don't meet your heroes, but he was very nice.
I believe that. I believe that. This is the place to come where you see your heroes, your idols, the people that you thought you would never be in a room with, and they embrace you. Now, no, everybody doesn't have time to sit down and do the masterclass, But the reality is that they will make you feel like you're the most important person in the world in that moment and interacting with them. And they are genuine about it. And that is beautiful.
I love that. Now, you are part of this. You're a professional speaker. You have information and you have knowledge and you have that experience that you can share. What is your best piece of advice that you would put in your $10,000 masterclass that you are willing to share for free right now?
So I believe my best piece of advice is to start with you.
Okay.
Start with you. We are all different beings. We could talk. There's so many people that I hear that talk about business coaching, and there's so many people that I hear talk about personality building, but each one of them does that in a very different way. And you have to be very grounded in yourself in order to know what information resonates and what information you kind of have to leave to the wayside and say, that's not necessarily for me, but I appreciate knowing it, right? And that's the only way you can do that. The only way you don't take in information constantly and trying to keep bouncing off the walls and like, I got to do this and I have to do that. The only way you can do that is if you know yourself and you're grounded in that.
What did it take for you to learn that?
Ooh, great question. What it took was time.
Yeah.
It took time. It took experiences. I think Ty Bennett hit the nail on the head this morning talking about his kids and how failure is a part to success.
Yes.
Right. And so it takes you to fail. It takes you to be in front. It takes you to do things like this on a whim and say, okay, I'm going to do it. And if I say too many and if I say too many ahs, and that's okay, because the next time I talk, I won't.
And the next time I talk, I still will. I still will. I'm still gonna say my ums and ahs and because that's just how I speak. And I've talked about this a lot, that I feel like I'm a fine speaker. I don't like public speaking. Honestly, I hate it.
Oh no.
I do it a lot just because I feel like I have to.
Fair.
But I don't think I'll ever be a certified speaking professional. I don't think I'll ever be a TEDx speaker because I'm not polished.
That's fair.
And I don't necessarily want to be polished.
And that there speaks to my point. You know you.
Yeah.
Sarah says, this is my lane in speaking, and that is fine. There are many of us that will never make it to CSP, $1 million speaker. But for those of us who want to, for those of us who have that as an ambition, you know you can when you get surrounded by these folks. And when you know you don't, you know you can be the best version of yourself surrounded by these folks. And so that is the great part.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now, what is your thing? Like you said that my thing is that I know I'm not polished and I'm never going to be. Yeah. What's your thing as a speaker?
I think my thing is my message is not for everybody.
Okay.
Right? I focus on sexual wellness. It's integration into health and healing professionals. So my focus is physicians, nurses, midwives, doulas, therapists, right? I also work with business professionals that want to make deep relationship connections, but that's based in what I've learned throughout my life as a sex and relationship expert. Everybody doesn't want to hear that.
Y'all should hear that.
Everybody does not want to talk about sex and how that relates to better business, more money, better sales. Everybody does not want to hear that. I want to hear about that. But I'm okay with that. No, I'm not for everybody. I'm not, my journey in life is rooted in my Christianity. But there's so many Christians that are going to be like, oh no, you're talking about sex. I don't want to hear about. I don't want you to come to my conference. I don't want you to speak to my congregation.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And sitting in that and realizing I'm not for everybody. And that's okay too.
I love that. And especially in the podcast space, we work with a lot of clients that when we're starting the launch process, we say like, who is your audience? They're like, well, I want to talk to everybody.
Right.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
If you're trying to talk to everybody, if everybody is your audience, you do not have an audience. You will be talking to nobody.
Yep. You're talking to the air.
Because you have to make your message so broad that it's able to fit anybody.
Yes.
And it's going to be something that nobody needs to hear,
Agreed.
to be quite honest.
Agreed.
No one's going to need to hear it. You need to make it specific to one group. And you don't have to have the biggest audience. You don't have to have the entire world as your stage.
Agreed.
And listening. You have to find that one little corner where your people hang out.
Yep. That's your tribe. That's your village.
Find
Those are
your
the people
tribe.
that'll support you and listen and give you feedback and challenge you and take what you say and elevate it and bring it back to you so you can elevate it for the next person. It's all about serving the people that want what you have.
What would you say to people who are struggling to find their tribe?
Yeah.
How do you find that?
I feel like one, come to NSA, right? That's just all there is to it. Because the reality is you start
Are you on
hearing
payroll for them?
I am not on payroll for NSA.
We're gonna talk to them.
See, here's the issue: is that I did not know I needed NSA until I got here, and that's the reason why I'm a huge proponent of it, right? For years, I have to keep saying Crystal Washington told me come to NSA because she saw me speaking, she saw me doing these things in conferences and things like that, and she's like, "I know you know your craft. Let's craft your speaking, and get you paid for it." So that wasn't happening because I wasn't coming to NSA. So that's the reason why.
The guy from the Evolution of Dance is right there. He's not the one in the fancy jacket, but the one behind him. He's in a black jacket with a purple shirt.
I don't know
with the purple shoes. Right there. Right there.
I don't know him. I know over there. I see him. I don't think I know him.
Okay.
I gotta know him.
You gotta know. He's the Evolution of Dance guy.
I like dance. I love to dance.
He's the guy that made the video Evolution of Dance.
Okay, I gotta check him out because
Okay.
I was sitting there like, oh, I don't think I know that person's there. So okay, now I know, and I will make sure I introduce myself.
You gotta.
Okay, now I've forgotten what I was answering.
I'm so sorry. My ADHD just came out so hard right
And I love
there.
it, and I was okay. That's another thing. I sit in my ADHD. I sit in my adult ADD is what I call it, and it's fine. And so
Yes.
I'm okay with saying now I forgot.
So where you found your tribe is NSA.
Where I found how to find my
How to
tribe
find your tribe.
was NSA, right?
Yeah.
Where I found my tribe was in a group of business friends. So we had gotten a coaching package from another coach, outside of speaking and everything, and we met. And so we started meeting every Saturday over like 5 years. And through that tribe, through just us saying we want to get together as women in business and learn from each other and grow together, I started realizing, oh, this is what a tribe feels like, right? And then I started saying, now what does that look like for me as a professional for me to find my tribe that clings to me? And that's how I found it. I found it by doing the work, right? I did the thing before I knew the thing.
Yeah.
That makes sense, right?
It does. I think people wait so long to start something because they think they have to be perfect out the gate.
Yep.
And that just means you're never gonna start because you ain't never gonna be perfect out the gate.
Not gonna be perfect. And shout out to my mastermind because you know who you are, girls. You rock. We're still together after 7.5 years.
Wow.
We don't meet every Saturday anymore, but we literally check in every week by
Love
WhatsApp.
that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, this has been great, and you have so much knowledge that you've been able to share, and we appreciate it so much.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been fun.
Thank you, Miss Davondra Brown. How can people find out more about you, get to know you, connect with you?
Sure. So find me at Davondra Brown on LinkedIn or Instagram and Facebook at Dibs on Sex. So that's DIBS, Davondra I Brown Services on Sex. Dibs on Sex. So you got to come on and get the dibs on sex.
Oh, hell yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to be there.
You got to be there.
I'm going to be there.
All right, good.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can keep hanging out with us and all these awesome speakers here at NSA and all the awesome speakers afterwards when we're done with this conference in a few days. So thank y'all for listening, and we will talk to you next week.